Nutty Disco Dave, the Gospel of Grievance and the Misadventure of Misjudging Truth. One of life's most baffling curiosities, right up there with pineapple on pizza and people who clap when the plane lands, is the nutty variety of self-appointed morality police. You see, Nutty, bless his overly active report button, spends his twilight years galloping through cyberspace on his noble hobby horse, swinging his rusty sword of self-righteousness at anyone who dares speak truth. Ironically, Nutty himself isn't exactly a card-carrying member of the Christian fold. No, he's more of a doctrinal drive-by shooter. He doesn't believe in God, doesn't follow the Bible, but by George, he's quite certain you're not a Christian. Why? Because you dared to say something true, and that, my friend, is a grave offense in Nutty's Book of Feelings, Chapter 1, verse hypocrisy. He hurls around verses he doesn't understand like darts in a blackout pub game. You're supposed to love your enemies, he screeches, all while doxing, slandering, and filing complaints like a Karen at a church bake sale. Apparently, Christian love means taking every abuse, lie, and libel and replying with a cupcake and a group hug, preferably while apologizing for bleeding on his sword. But here's the rub. Nutty confuses good with nice and evil with being called out. When a Christian replies with truth, Nutty recoils as if stung by nettles dipped in lemon juice, wailing, "That's not love!" Of course not, because love to Nutty means pretending everything's fine while he sets the house on fire and throws your name under the nearest bus. He doesn't understand that to repay evil with good is to repay lies with truth, cruelty with conviction, and manipulation with clarity. And truth, oh, that pesky truth, burns him worse than sunlight burns a vampire with a bad attitude. So when Nutty accuses Christians of not being Christian, it's like a vegan shouting at a butcher for mishandling tofu. He wouldn't know grace if it served him breakfast in bed. But don't worry, we love him from a healthy distance, behind a firewall and a double layer of satire. Because while Nutty may misunderstand love, grace, truth, and theology, we rather enjoy writing about it in verse, roast, and rhyme. In the ecclesiastical world of Nutty Disco Dave, hypocrisy is not a vice, it's a full-blown ministry. Picture it now, a man who denies God altogether, yet appoints himself as the Grand Inquisitor of all things Christian. Quite the miracle that. Moses had tablets, Nutty has a Rumble account, and a flagging finger that twitches at the slightest whiff of satire. You see, in Nutty's gospel, Christians must absorb slander, accept doxing, and nod politely while being falsely accused. That, he insists, is love. Turn the other cheek? Sure. And then hand over the rest of your face for a few bonus slaps. This isn't Christian meekness. It's Nutty's doctrine of spiritual masochism. And if you dare point out his contradictions, why? You're not a real Christian. Ah, the irony. A man who would know Romans from rotisserie is suddenly the Pope of pity. And let's not forget his divine right to redefine good for Nutty. Good means silent submission to abuse. But when a Christian responds with truth, lovingly sharp and scripturally sound, Nutty recoils like Dracula at sunrise. It's not that truth is unkind. It's that Nutty can't tell the difference between conviction and cruelty, between a rebuke and a beatdown. He thinks exposing evil is evil, that calling out deception is deception, that Christians who say enough is enough are somehow betraying Christ, while he scurries about spinning lies in the dark like a cockroach with a theology degree from nowhere. So, let it be known. We don't repay evil with evil, we repay it with good, and good is truth. Sometimes truth is soft, sometimes it stings. But unlike Nutty's gospel of grudge and guilt trips, truth doesn't wear a mask. Now, if Nutty would like to lecture us again on what it means to follow Christ, he might start by believing in him first. Until then, he should leave the pulpit alone and maybe invest in a mirror